Hello everyone, Sammy C here of the Politically Correct Free Zone, May 21st, 2012. Hello. Hey, last left off at the Constitutional Convention, and there were three parties amongst all the delegates there at the convention. The first party advocated a monarchical national government that would abolish all state governments and be centralized in its power. The second party amongst the delegates was one that advocated a general government that favored their particular states, and this was found mainly among the larger states. The third party, which was about the size of the other two combined, they advocated federal equality, that is, states' rights. So three parties there at the Constitutional Convention. There were a couple different ideas of representation amongst the delegates. Those from the larger states, they wanted the general government to be represented by population. Well, the smaller states, they wanted to maintain state equality. In particular, Delaware specifically told its delegates to insist upon the absolute equality amongst the states. So a compromise was reached. They said, look, we'll make two chambers within the federal legislature. One will be based upon population, and that would be the House of Representatives. And the second would be based upon state equality, and that would be the Senate. So you get two different ideas of representation at the convention. Next are just a few particulars that happened at the convention. First was the Randolph resolutions. Edmund Randolph, a delegate from Virginia, who later became the first U.S. Attorney General, he proposed a set of resolutions, one of which contained a resolution to establish a national government with a supreme legislature, judiciary, and executive. Now, other delegates at the convention responded by saying, no, we want to strike that word national out and substitute it with the government of the United States. And so on Wednesday, June 20th, 1787, you can look it up in the Elliott debates, it was unanimously agreed to strike out the word national and replace it with government of the United States. So the point there is that our founding fathers had no intention to create a nation when they ratified or created the Constitution under which we operate now. So they weren't about to create a nation. It was a voluntary association of co-equal states. A second particular is how they dealt with the 13th article in the Articles of Confederation. If you remember, the original set of instructions of the delegates that were sent to the convention was to revise the Articles of Confederation. Well, the Articles of Confederation said that any said revisions had to be agreed upon by everyone and ratified by all before it took place. Well, Rhode Island, they never even sent delegates to the Constitutional Convention. And partway through, 2/3 of the New York delegates left. So the delegates left at the convention, the ones remaining there, they could see that they could not get a unanimous consent on the revisions. So what they did is they went beyond their original set of instructions and created a brand new constitution that would become operative when 9 out of the 13 states would ratify it. Okay, so they went beyond their original set of instructions and created a brand new constitution. So one way to look at it is they were adopting a plan to secede from one union in order to form another. Another particular worth noting about this is because in this new constitution, more powers were going to be delegated to this central subordinate agency. They felt it was important for it to be ratified by the state convention and not by state legislature, as the Articles of Confederation specified. And this was because state conventions are closer to the heartbeat of power, which is the sovereignty of the people. So because more powers were to be delegated to the federal government, they wanted to get closer to the heartbeat of power and therefore have the state conventions ratify it and not the state legislatures. So those are three parts of the Constitutional Convention. The parties involved, the ideological parties, the different ideas of representation, and a couple of particulars, Randolph resolutions, and how they dealt with the 13th article of the Articles of Confederation. So, again, let us remember that the states are sovereign and the federal government is their servant.